Let's keep this conversation going. For more on what all of this means for you, let's bring in CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we just heard from Fed Chair Jerome Powell warning the impact of President Trump's tariffs, that it could put us in a position that we haven't been in a while. What do you mean?
Well, the Fed has two main jobs, and sometimes those jobs are in conflict. On one side, they want to make sure that they are fostering an economy that can create enough jobs for anyone who wants a job. So think about that job market.
Yeah.
On the other side, it's called price stability. They want to make sure that inflation is not running away. Now, in this particular instance, these Trump tariffs have this strange effect which could actually hurt the job market, which would normally encourage the Fed to lower interest rates, but at the same time, it could increase prices, as Nancy said. That's that combination of a stagnating economy with inflation. So with prices rising, the Fed chair has basically said to us in that discussion yesterday, hey, we're kind of freaked out about those prices. And we don't want the embers of inflation, which are still smoldering from the COVID era, we don't want them to reignite. So the reason why stocks sold off yesterday was essentially that investors said, uh-oh, he's not going to lower rates so fast. This could actually persist where we're at these higher interest rates for a longer period of time.
So we all know the new government report on consumer spending released yesterday. So how did we, the people, react to the tariffs in March?
Sometimes we are very smart, we consumers. And so what we saw is retail sales actually were up month over month. So the month of March, retail sales accelerated by 1.4%, a little bit stronger than expectations. Why? Because we went out and bought cars, which we knew were going to rise in price.
In anticipation of.
So we saw car prices, car sales at the highest level in 2 years. But there was some broad-based spending. What's interesting is what we know from this report is it tends to be the higher income people who are spending. People who are at the middle or the lower end, they are good and freaked out, and they are tapped out also. So the fear right now among economists is, wait a second, if everybody is starting to get nervous about tariffs and about the economy slowing down, they'll pull back on that spending.
So what should people do if we do see a possible recession?
Okay, so we are not in a recession. I want to point that out. We have no hard data that shows that we're in a recession. But if you were to think a recession is coming, I would say you've got to conserve some cash. You've got to delay some of those big spending plans. And what you also want to make sure you do is if you are an investor, you don't want money tied up in anything that can go up or down, any investment that contains risk, if you know you need your money within 12 to 18 months. On my podcast, I have heard from so many people who are in retirement or nearing retirement, and they are freaked out. If you are freaked out, the money you know you're going to need within the next 2 years, do not have it in the market.
Yeah, it's interesting about car sales because dealers are calling people saying, come buy them.
Yes, indeed.
They are here.
As a strategy to sell.
People buying cars that don't even need them right now. Thank you, Jill. Thank you.